It's no secret that the heads-up display in Team Fortress 2 is showing signs of age. The elements don't scale properly with increases in resolution, most elements are far too large, and a lot of critical information is pushed to the far corners of the screen, distracting the player from combat. Unlike a lot of TF2's other minor problems I've griped about over and over, this one is fixable. The Team Fortress 2 community is a very diverse one, and a huge branch of it is dedicated to the development and maintenance of custom HUDs. Custom HUDs for TF2 have been around for a very long time, but I'll provide a brief summary for those who aren't aware. HUD is an acronym, standing for Heads-Up Display. This is also commonly referred to as UI, or User Interface. In video games, a HUD is what tells you your health, ammo count, how many hearts and how much magic you have left, etc. In Team Fortress 2, custom HUDs change the way this game provides this information to you during combat. Of course, custom HUDs can, and usually do, provide changes to menus outside of combat as well. Custom HUDs are created by taking TF2's default HUD files from the TF2 MISC VPK and tweaking the values. This can be done to move buttons, create new buttons, place more images, or even let you redesign the menus entirely. The Source Engine's HUD scripting is a bit daunting if you haven't had any experience with this sort of stuff before. However, if you are interested in taking the plunge into the world of building your own custom HUD, the initial developer of RazeHUD, RazeFire, has a ton of tutorials uploaded on his YouTube channel. These tutorials are a large part of the reason why so many amazing custom HUDs exist today, so I'd think it's one of the best places to start. If you're not too keen on the idea of making your own custom HUD from scratch, though, you do have other options. Some pre-made HUDs allow for customization via a website or application, such as ToonHUD or RazeHUD. ToonHUD and RazeHUD aren't the only option for HUDs, however. As I mentioned before, there are countless custom HUDs just waiting to be installed. In order to start finding custom HUDs, I recommend visiting the website huds.tf. This website is home to a lot of great custom HUDs, and is operated and maintained by OmniBombulator and VTooft. OmniBombulator also worked on the Tip of the Hats HUD and the TFTV casting HUD, while VTooft has discovered many new methods in HUD creation, and is always working to ensure compatibility with major updates as they come. Combined, the two are very interested in making sure the HUDs featured on their site are quality, up-to-date, and work properly. If you find a HUD you like there, chances are highly likely that it'll work just fine in your game. Of course, there are other options for locating HUDs. GameBanana has been home to TF2 mods ever since the game launched, and HUDs are no exception. However, there are zero restrictions on uploads to GameBanana, and there's no guarantee that the HUD you downloaded will function on the latest version of the game. Despite this, though, I did find quite a number of fully featured up-to-date HUDs there, so it is definitely an option if you don't see anything you like on huds.tf. The installation of these pre-made custom HUDs is rather simple too. First, download the HUD you want to use and ensure it's been updated within the last few months. Next, look in the download for a folder or VPK file with the name of the HUD you selected. Then, navigate to the directory shown on screen and drop the folder in there. Simple enough. Just remember to delete previous versions of the HUD before updating it. The directory I mentioned is also available in the description. While it is true that most TF2 mods are blocked on Valve's matchmaking servers, the same cannot be said about custom HUDs. Any type of custom HUD can be used on Valve servers, given that it's updated for TF2's latest UI revision. There are countless TF2 HUDs out there, and with that, there are many preferences for many players. I use a custom modified version of ToonHUD, but HUD preferences are extremely subjective, and there isn't really one definitive custom HUD. For example, many people prefer RazeHUD over ToonHUD, or perhaps even EveHUD, or AHUD, or BudHUD. Heck, some people even prefer the default HUD. There's been a lot of controversy lately over HUD choices, but I strongly believe everyone should be able to choose which HUD they use, without catching any flack. With that said, there are far too many HUDs for me to cover alone, so I've enlisted the help of a few other fellow TF2 content creators to share their thoughts and opinions on the HUDs that they use. Take it away.
My favorite custom HUD to use is BudHUD, not because I'm forced to use... Nah, I'm kidding guys, that's not my favorite HUD, it's actually EveHUD. Now, the reasons why I like EveHUD is that the design of it still stays true to TF2 style while changing things up. My main reasoning for having stuck with EveHUD for years, aside from personally liking the design, has to do with the Vaccinator, one of my favorite weapons to use. In the default HUD, the resistance you currently are on is all the way at the bottom left by your health, which is really ineffective to have much needed info all the way in the corner. It makes it so that you have to glance down there in the middle of the battle to remember which resistance you're on, which oftentimes gets at least me killed. On the other hand, the Eve HUD puts that information smack dab in the middle of the screen without being intrusive. I just like the Eve HUD, guys, okay?
Hey, it's me! The guy from After Breakfast! And I still use the default HUD. But why? I don't know. Well, I just never really had a problem with it. I've been playing TF2 since 2010, and I've never really thought, you know what I need? A different heads-up display. Maybe the default one is a bit bulky, or things aren't positioned the way you like, but I can't really say that I've ever really had an issue with it. It's okay. The default HUD is an okay HUD. It's not amazing. It's fine. It's okay enough. Riveting answer, I know. But hey, I mean, whatever floats your boat, man. The default HUD is okay by me, but you can use whatever you want.
Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Joe and welcome to my little extract in R's video. Today I'm going to be talking about the HUD I use and why it's beneficial to me. If you don't know who I am, I'm more of a trader than a player, so obviously I need a HUD that kind of benefits that. One of my favourite aspects about this HUD is that when you go into the backpack page, there is little AD scrollers, making it super easy to navigate. So for example, if I wanted to move that trenches topper to another page, I would literally just hold click on it and press A and D a couple times to scroll across. Another aspect that I think is really awesome for traders with this HUD is that when you go into your loadouts, if you actually hold right click and move your mouse forward or backwards, you can either zoom in or zoom out your loadout. This is super useful for if you want to see how certain cosmetics look together and if there's any clipping issues or anything like that, and it's just a really great feature for building a loadout. That's why this is my favourite HUD and why it benefits me as more of a trader as opposed to a player.
Personally, I use the Overwatch HUD, as Overwatch is obviously a better game than Team Fortress. All jokes aside, in reality, I use a HUD. No, what do you mean what HUD do I use? I use a HUD. I just told you, I use a HUD. A HUD. The HUD called a HUD, okay? Clear? Great. The reason I use a HUD is that I find everything is very centered. And for me, who's pretty dumb and doesn't have that much of an attention span, having everything close to the center of the screen with my crosshair is amazing. And considering I play a lot of Hybrid Knight, I need to know where my charge is at all times. And a HUD, it does that for me, and I love it. It's my baby. It also gives me the added benefit of having supreme fragging potential.
Alright, hello, I'm Woolen. I've played lots of Spy in Prem, UGC Platinum, all this gubbins, and I myself am using my own custom HUD. I think I wrote it around 5 or 6 years ago. It's been a while, but basically, to cut it brief, I went with a stock HUD for a while. I saw Star using PV HUD, and after a while I got bored of that and decided it would be fun to make my own, so following a bunch of tutorials by like Raise Fire, etc., I managed to build my own, and over the years I've built it up to kind of be my own little set of prescription glasses, if you will, where I quite literally, when I made it, sat on TR Walkway for about a week, adjusting each position, each colour, just like tiny bits, until I found what seemed to me like the perfect values for me specifically, where I'm sitting at my desk with my screen size, etc. Everything is basically set to where I need it and where I can use it, and I find that wonderful. I never need to look off my crosshair to know my health, my cloak. I mean, for me, a custom HUD is basically, indeed, just a pair of glasses. I can't see the game without it. Everything's out of place, everything's too small in the corner, and I'm always looking for something where on my HUD I know exactly where it is. On other HUDs, if I actually have to look for the piece of information, then I feel like it's failed as a HUD. I also think it's pretty crucial if you're playing competitive to at least have, even if you like the stock HUD, to at least have some kind of custom version that makes stuff like the hit numbers a bit bigger, making it so that you can see health values as numbers on teammates and enemies, making it so it's a little bit more obvious what your health and ammo are, because on the stock HUD they are right at the corner of your screen. You do want those to be in the middle. But yeah, that's my thought on custom HUDs. Thanks.
And there you have it. There are a ton of custom HUDs to choose from, each of them unique in their own special ways. I hope this video convinced you to take a dive into the world of custom HUDs, or look even further into it if you already use one. That's all for now. Thanks for your continued support.
Let's run away, let's go and waste another year. Let's spin a board while racing through the atmosphere.
For any of you HUD developers out there, there's a HUD design contest going on at TeamFortress.tv right now. Take a look. Also, I'd like to thank Sketchy for making all the art featured in this video. Check him out in the description.